Welcome to the Fourth and Short podcast, a breakdown of the hottest topics on the Schuylkill League sports scene, with your hosts, Eli Doyle and Leroy Boyer.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Fourth and Short podcast on T102sportsnow.com. We are live at the annual Blue Mountain versus Pottsville Clash of 61 Captains Dinner, and we are joining the first segment of our show here with the Blue Mountain Captains and their head coach, Tom Gallagher. From your left to right, it's Brad Renninger, Nick Beckfield, Gage Gears, and Hunter Blankenhorn. That's Eli Doyle way over there. I'm Leroy Boyer. Guys, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's talk Clash of 61. Since it started in 2012, the series is tied 6-6. When you consider that overall, before the series for the trophy started, Pottsville had a 39-9 advantage in games against Blue Mountain. You guys have won the last two. Any of these can answer, but how important is it for as seniors to go out with three in a row?
Yeah, well, you said, 99, 12-12?
It's 12 games at 6-6. Before the trophy series, it was Pottsville 39, Blue Mountain 9.
Yeah, so 6-6 since it's been restarted. That's obviously a big deal for us as seniors, 1-2 in a row. So why not make it three? Why not make it three and our senior season with a bang, and then lead into next week?
Yeah, just carry on what the other seniors last year, helped our program do, and just make sure we get it. We always learn. So we got to talk about it really quickly. Get it out of the way. Last week, okay, it's over. It's done right now. All right. Big rivalry week. A lot of emotions between last week and this week, right? How do you guys manage that? Anyone of you can go ahead. How do you manage the emotions between, coming off a game that, probably favored it in, and you just came up short, and now you have to play arguably your biggest rival on your home turf, of course, too. Should be a great game. How do you handle the emotions though?
I think what we got to do is we got to take all the emotions from that hard loss and really let it build up and then just release it all. Yeah, just gotta want to kick the crap out of them, really.
Yeah, like you said, kind of just let the anger build up. I mean, it's a loss that we feel like we should have won. Mistakes kind of led us into the loss, but let the anger build up, take it all out, and obviously last home game, so gotta show out for the home crowd.
I'll comment on this. I think last week's loss, even though it obviously no one likes to lose the game, I think it's the best thing that could have happened for this team. It's a wake-up call for us. It challenges us, and it's a way for us to kind of regroup, refocus here as we approach tough end of the season with two high-quality opponents. But our focus right here, right now, is on this rivalry game. It's big for these guys, big for our program. They're ready. And like I said, eye-opener last week, and these guys know that they're better than they played last week. We're interested to see their response now Friday night.
Hunter, you're a leader of the defense. Well, we haven't heard from you yet. Talk about Blue Mountain defensively. You guys really struggled to stop North Schuylkill last week. Pottsville presents a different challenge to a point. Defensively, what do you guys have to do right to win Friday night?
We just have to stick to our basic fundamentals. Make sure every guy knows their assignment on defense. Just make sure they execute.
What from a defensive standpoint, does Pottsville scare you? What about them scares you? When you look at the film on them, huddle videos, whatever you're doing, over the course of the week, what sticks out about Pottsville that you're focused on?
Really just their targeting the 20. It's not, I think if we shut him down, our box is pretty full. We can stop the run game and just neutralize all the other threats.
For the rest of you, anyone who could jump in and answer this, like we said, big rivalry game, right? What do you guys want your lasting? I'm not sure you guys home or away next week.
Next week will be away.
Away. So what do you want your last, home game to be like? What do you envision?
A win. Yeah, a win.
Of course, that could change, right? The playoffs, we could have a first round home game.
Oh yeah, for last home game of the regular season, obviously we want to win. But we want the big crowd. Obviously, it brings a lot of attention to us. We like the attention, but also just being able to have our fans and students, faculty, all there, see us perform how we know we can perform for them, and just come out with it.
And I got a follow-up question. I'll let you take the reins on this one since we haven't got to speak to you a whole lot this year. Coach Gal can jump in too. You guys have some Pottsville guys down there on your staff, right? Coach McGoey, Coach Toomey. Am I missing anybody?
I don't think so.
Have they offered any words of wisdom to you? Have they offered any insights, maybe? Just focused on this game.
Yeah, they've coached long enough, and they understand that they don't want it to be about them. They care about this game too. They want to put forth their best effort, and they just are asking same old players. That's what's going to come down to.
A lot of people have heard about Gage Gears, number 11. He does everything for this team for the most part. But not a lot of guys have heard about that guy on the end, number 9, who has had a monster season as a tight end, perhaps the best tight end in our area. 21 catches, 475 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Bradley, just talk about your season and how satisfying and maybe great it is for you to put up those numbers and become a big focal part of the Blue Mountain offense.
Oh yeah, it obviously feels great. I always knew I could do it, but I just needed the right coaches in the situation, which Coach McGoey and Coach Gal gave me. And I've always wanted to be out there with my friends and just help them win, and that's what I'm trying my best to do right now.
Now, Nick Beckfield, your situation is extremely heartbreaking to a point. Senior captain, senior leader of an offensive line that does a great job, high expectations coming in, and you get injured before game 1. Still not able to play for this club. Talk about your recovery and how you've been maybe an emotional leader of these guys. You're at every practice, at every game, still there when you could have just said, hey, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, I want to start off by saying my recovery's going well. I'm back to walking after surgery. And, obviously it's completely out of my control. So I just try not to complain about it because the thing's not going to help it. So I just try to make sure that I can lead as hard as I can and make sure everybody's in check mentally and good on their assignments. Yeah.
I have to comment on him because you just heard not a lot of 17, 18-year-old kids are going to have that kind of response when they lose their senior season. And he's mature about it. He's taking it the right way. And he's going to be successful after Blue Mountain and successful in his life because he has that kind of attitude. We're fortunate to have a kid like him here as one of our leaders, and I think it rubs off on his teammates.
And I just have one last for you, Coach. Just speak about your seniors a little bit and what they do for this program. Obviously it's no secret. I've been on you guys a little heavy this year, but it's just a group of kids. I've gotten to meet them over the years. They're a good bunch, especially your seniors. I can't say enough great things about your seniors. Just give us a look and insight at your senior bunch, and not only the things they do on the field, but like the leadership that they set forth for your, all your programs, your feeder programs, your midget footballs, and all that stuff.
So this is, since I've taken over, this is my 4th year. Therefore, these are guys that have been in the program all 4 years. And I think that with that and their personalities, I think that they have really done a lot for our program. And I think that they really have always had the desire to make our football program good, and they wanted to be the people behind that. They enjoy being part of the football team. They don't mind putting in the hard work, and they like setting the example, and they want the pressure. And to see that from a group, it's really refreshing as a coach because you know that they're going to come out, they're going to compete. And yeah, I know we had a setback last week, but like I said, we're taking that as something that it's the best thing that could have happened for this group. They feel the same way. So now it's just, let's refresh here, let's learn from it, move on, and see if we can even continue to grow. I think we will, so I'm excited for it.
Guys, and each of you can kind of chime in. So at 6-2, Blue Mountain is in 2nd place in the District 11 Class 4A rankings going into 2 weeks left in the regular season. You guys have a chance to have a playoff home game as a senior. How important is that to finish strong, right? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And you guys have a chance, a loss last week, to finish with 2 regular season wins and then get a playoff game at home on your turf in front of all your friends, family, and fans. How important is that to finish strong and to get a playoff game at home? Sure.
I mean, it feels good to be able to get a chance to maybe play a district game on your home field. We were coming out of a home playoff drought for a while until last year. Keeping it going would obviously feel really good and boost everyone's feelings and stuff.
Yeah, kind of add on to him. Obviously, the district playoffs haven't been in our favor the last couple of years. That first home game for us in the district playoff ended up in a loss, but I mean, it means a lot to kind of just wrap up our season and kind of try to bring it back to the Eagles' Nest, kind of just show that we can still play our kind of football, and that I think we've taken a huge step from last year to this year. And obviously, we're taking it 1 week at a time. So this week we have Pottsville, and then obviously next week we'll carry on to the next one. But yeah, no, it's going to be a lot.
Feels good, but we played Pottsville this week, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. So last year, our seniors were like the first class in the lab to get a home game, and I also want to keep that going for us and for the younger guys coming up. And but not only that, but we also just want to win, and being home helps a lot. So.
Folks, this is the Blue Mountain captains and head coach Tom Gallagher, Bradley Renninger, Nick Beckfield, Gage Gears, Hunter Blankenhorn. Guys, thanks for joining us, and good luck Friday in the Clash of 61.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back with Pottsville. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Fourth and Short podcast here on T102sportsnow.com. It's the Pottsville version of the Clash of 61 rivalry series to be held this Friday night at 7 o'clock at Blue Mountain's Eagles Nest. With us is Pottsville's captains from left to right, Ryan Galen, Cyril Curry, that's Coach Mike Brennan in the middle, Luke Shane, and Braden Evans. Guys, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the Clash of 61 series first. 12 games so far in that series since they brought the trophy into it. It's 6-6. The last two have gone to Blue Mountain, and they've been close games. Any of you can answer, jump in, but how important is it for you guys as seniors to be hoisting that trophy, 9:30, 10 o'clock on Friday night?
Yeah, we've been talking about it all year long. Like, this is just a rivalry game that we always look forward to. There's a lot of energy involved in the game, and we just love the atmosphere.
Anybody else want to comment?
It's just a game that, ever since we were young, growing up watching Pottsville football, it's just been a big game. And to win one for our senior year, it would just be a huge accomplishment.
Cyril Curry was a Finelli, Evans, and Patel Athlete of the Week a couple weeks ago. You had another big game this past weekend to win over Wilson. Have you ever returned a punt 9 yards for a touchdown?
Never happened. I was not expecting it. Just emotions were high, and it just happened.
So I had to break it down a little bit for people. Nobody understood it. I had 3 people tweet back at me question mark. They thought 99 maybe, I missed a number in there or something. Okay. So what I told them is, and this is kind of a little tidbit to you, Coach, too. How good of a job you and your staff are doing. So when that ball went up, it sounded like somebody out poisoned for a second. I don't know if it was or not, maybe on the sideline, but everybody started scattering. And you and I think Max Clues were the only two to realize, oh, this is so close to the end zone, I could just end go.
Absolutely.
Right? I think Max kind of fell over, didn't get to the ball as fast as you.
Yes, sir.
But tell me, just what were you thinking on the field?
Coach always emphasizes urgency when we're on the field and being aware of their surroundings. So when the ball goes up and we hear poison, everybody's immediately supposed to find the ball, and that's just what happened.
Awesome.
Braden, let's talk defense. All right. Braden Evans, middle linebacker or outside linebacker?
Middle.
Middle linebacker. Leads the tide in tackles with 73, 13 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. How important is it for you guys as linebackers and the front guys on defense to contain Blue Mountain's running game?
It's big because we think that if we contain the run game and get into their pass game, that we can contain them even more and keep them to 0 on the scoreboard.
What's been the secret of your success getting to the ball as fast as you have?
I've been watching a lot of film and using my guards as my read keys, like Coach Brennan's taught me, and just with help with the D line and then making plays, it helps me get to the ball carrier.
Luke, you're a two-way lineman. Games are won and lost in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Brennan will stand up and down about that. How important is it for you guys to win that battle, both sides of the ball, in the trenches on Friday?
I think it's really important. I think it's actually the most important thing we have going in right now because at the end of the day, it's on us. Anything we can do in the run game, like that's our responsibility, and I think that's where all our success is going to have to come from.
Hey, let's talk Clash 61 a little bit. Leroy, you want to give us the gist of it, the overall stats here?
So it's 6-6. Blue Mountain has won. So Blue Mountain won the first 3 of the first 4 in 2012, 2014, 2015. Pottsville won 23-14 and 16. Blue Mountain won in 2017, 20-6. And probably the best game of the series in 2018, Pottsville won 41-40 in overtime, and then won the next 3 years, pretty much convincing fashion. 2022, when you guys were sophomores, Blue Mountain won 17-0. Last year, in a really close game from start to finish, Blue Mountain won 21-14.
And of course, the overall record before the trophy is a lot different.
Pottsville 39-9 before the trophy series.
But specifically, these last 2 years, right? So you guys have all been here, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me how important that is as a senior group to bring that trophy back.
Yeah, well, as a whole, I feel like our senior class has come together a lot more, and I feel like the season means a lot more to us. If we all give our whole for each other and give 100% and make sure that we're all doing our part. And as long as that happens, we all trust in each other and we're convinced that we can pull off any game.
Let's talk to Ryan Galen. Ryan Galen, similar to Nick Beckfield from Blue Mountain, senior leader of the offensive line. Was it the first game?
Yeah.
First game, like the first quarter. Suffers an injury, battles scar on his knee to prove it. It's great to see you up off of crutches. You've been on crutches for most of the season. Just talk about your recovery and what you bring to this team from a leadership and an emotional leadership standpoint.
It's okay to be a little ego.
I feel like after the injury happened, the big thing was having a strong mental status about it because a big thing about ACL recovery is your mind can just go. And one thing Coach Brennan told me is always be mentally tough. And I feel like that was the biggest part of this, to never get down on myself. And even before I found out I tore my ACL, it was always to remain positive. Once I found out I did tear my ACL, the biggest thing was to focus on a strong recovery and things like that. That's just how I got to move forward as an athlete now to continue my collegiate career in track and field and stuff like that.
Tell me a little bit about the offensive line. I've been in a couple of your games. I've got to see you from both the booth and the sideline now. I think 3 times I've been to Pottsville game this year. I see you do a lot of things on that sideline. First of all, you're the first guy, even on the crutches, you're the first guy as far down the field as you could go when you guys get that ball in the red zone. Second of all, every time the offensive line comes off the field, you're the first guy to go talk to them. You're right with the coaches right there, and you're offering your support. What other things, and maybe Luke, you might want to chime in here and tell us a little bit about it. What other things does he offer?
He has a lot of comment. I think it's just fun having him around, and obviously playing with him was awesome and everything. But it's not really that he's gone. He's still there. He's always there. He's right next to us in practice, so he's always right there. It's just that he can't play with us.
Coach, what is it like? I mean, you've been around forever as far as a head coach, different programs, different sets of kids. What's it like to have a kid like him and the rest of these seniors, the leadership that they've provided? You have a relatively young squad that's growing week to week, but good teams have good senior leaders, and you're a good team, and these guys have set the bar pretty high for the classes to follow. An example of Ryan Galen and these other guys, how much have they meant to your program?
It's been special for me. It really has. And the irony is that just last night, before I went to bed, I was reading the program, the senior bios of these guys, and it really hit me. We're week 9 already, and I just connected with these kids so well. I feel so comfortable in this program. We put a great staff together. We care about the kids and a lot of experience. But these guys have since March, have totally bought in. We put a lot of time in together. We built for this part of the season. This is what we prepared for, to be the best football team we could be going into week 9. This is, for all intents and purposes, a playoff game for us. And but these kids are special. I love going to the practice field every day. All the time and effort they put in. They understand football. They're students of the game. They watch film and they compete Friday nights. One thing we've done every week so far this year is we've competed. That will be no different on Friday night.
Because last question, what would it mean for you to win this trophy? And it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. 4-4, 2 toss-up games left, Blue Mountain and North Schuylkill, and then a playoff game. You're going to make the playoffs, so you're going to have 11 games. just talk about how important it is to win Friday and finish the season strong.
I feel like winning that trophy will stand as like a monument of our hard work over the years. The struggle that the team's put in as a whole, the blood, sweat, and tears that we've all put in together, and we feel like we're due for one.
I feel like winning this game overall gives us like the strive to finish hard and continue with great motivation and team energy during the playoffs. This is a big game, and winning a big game like this always pushes your team to see where you're at, and like it sets the bar high for where you need to be continuing into the postseason and stuff like that.
Yeah, as Galen said, I think we need a lot of confidence going in these last couple games. We have 2 tough games, both on the road, Blue Mountain and at North Schuylkill, and they're both 2 very winnable games, and then we'll have a playoff game, and we think we can make a good run in the official playoff this year.
Yeah, I think having the games at the end of the season is going to be like a big boost going into playoffs, because I feel like a lot of teams can struggle with that and kind of get used to that same routine, but I think that can bring us up more, getting 2 wins at the end of the season.
Guys, the Clash of 61 is Friday at 7 o'clock at the Eagles Nest at Blue Mountain. These guys, Pottsville against the Eagles. You can follow all of our coverage on T102 Sports Now. And this podcast, we'll be right back. Guys, thanks for joining us. Pottsville guys from left and right, Ryan Galen, Cyril Curry, Coach Mike Brennan, Luke Shane, and Braden Evans. We'll be right back. We're back for the final segment of the T102SportsNow.com's weekly podcast, Fourth and Short. We're at the Clash of 61 Captain's Dinner. This year's game, the 13th game in that trophy series. Series tied at 6-6. Should be a good one. 7 o'clock. You can listen to it live on WPPA 1360 AM. Eli Doyle will be on the sidelines this week, filling in for John Kirby. Are you excited about that? This is new for you. This is the first time.
As we spoke about, we'll give the listeners, if you made it this far in the show, we'll give you a little behind the curtain here. We've been working pretty hard this week. Not to toot our own horns or anything. Tomorrow, today, when you're probably viewing this, will be like my 5th volleyball game of the week. You know, we do two weekly shows. You've been at soccer.
Yeah. 5th and 6th game of soccer tomorrow.
Yeah. So
Schuylkill League Championship night, Thursday night. If this is going to air Thursday morning, the soccer finals are at Blue Mountain. The boys' game is at 5. The girls' game is at 7. And then the Schuylkill League Volleyball Championship, Panther Valley versus Pottsville, 7 o'clock at Martell. You'll be there. I'll be at Blue Mountain.
So to round about back to your question, am I excited? Heck yeah, I'm excited. A little tired, but I'm still excited.
Hey, so week 8 of the high school football season is behind us. 2 more weeks of the regular season, and then the playoffs. Week 8 saw some surprising scores, some results that no one expected. It started Thursday. North Schuylkill takes care of Blue Mountain, 38-14. Luke Miller has a monster game for the Spartans, who went from on the outside looking in to right smack dab in the middle of that District 11 Class AAA playoff race. On Friday, Pottsville got a win. They're now 4-4, 35-0 over Wilson area. Southern Lehigh beat Bangor 47-0. Lehighton defeats Tamaqua 34-14, a very crippling loss for the Blue Raiders in their district hopes. Northwestern Lehigh defeats Jim Thorpe 55-0. In the Blue Division, it was Williams Valley 33, Marion 0. Minersville beats Nativity 49-28. Vanelli Evans and Patel Athlete of the Week. Dante Carr goes bonkers, runs for 5 touchdowns, throws for 2 more. Minersville gets a big win at home against Nativity in that backyard brawl series. Panther Valley beats Shenandoah Valley 32-0. Schuylkill Haven defeats Pine Grove 81-6. And it was Tri-Valley over Mono area 28-14. Eli, lots of storylines in week 8. North Schuylkill bouncing back.
Absolutely.
Tamaqua not bouncing back. The small school division kind of shaking out like we thought. But Minersville really stepping to the fore with a big win over Nativity. Nativity at Schuylkill Haven this week, and then against Marion in week 10. Things doesn't get really any easier for the Green Wave, who are in the middle of that Class A sub-regional playoff race. Minersville's win puts them in really solid shot, almost a shot to have a home game now, when they were in like 7th place 2 weeks ago. Just a lot of storylines from week 8.
Yeah, we'll start with the I don't know how to say this, the least fun, I guess, storyline of week 8, Tamaqua. Just the season, on and down after being on a monster high to start. Of course, starting off the season 4, 5, 6-0. It looks like they're going to be a perennial playoff team. Of course, now, with only 4 teams making it in that bracket, that is the 3A bracket. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They have 2 more very, very tough games. I believe it's Northwestern Lehigh.
They play Northwestern Lehigh. We'll get to the schedule in a second.
And then, I think they have another tough one.
They play Blue Mountain week 10
to finish the regular season. So that's, a killer to be sitting in that 5 spot and not be on the outside looking in.
I mean, they'll make the Eastern Conference playoffs, I think. Those rankings were released this morning. I didn't really take a good look at them, but I'm pretty sure that they'll get a playoff game. Eastern Conference is really not where you want to be. You want to be in the district playoffs. For Tamaqua, when you look back on it, they were 0-4 last year, won 5 of their last 6 regular season games, lost in the playoffs. So they finished 5-2 in their last 7 games last year, then won their first 6. So in a 13-game span, they went 11-2, which is awesome.
Yeah,
awesome
absolutely.
for Sam Bonner's club. But now, the loss, 2 losses in a row here. The Southern Lehigh and then, Lehighton, it makes things really tough for Tamaqua. A win over Lehighton would have but maybe clinched a playoff spot for them. And now really 2 tough games, in the week. So this week, football week 9 starts Thursday with Mono area at Panther Valley. Friday, we have the Clash of 61, Pottsville Blue Mountains at 7 o'clock. Bangers at Jim Thorpe. Lehighton is at North Schuylkill. Northwestern Lehigh is at Tamaqua. Southern Lehigh is at Saucon Valley. And that White Division, Palmerton's at Notre Dame. Penargel's at Catasauqua, Salisbury's at Northern Lehigh. In the small school blue division, Minersville's at Panther Valley. Nativity's at Schuylkill Haven. Minersville's at Tri-Valley. Nativity's at Schuylkill Haven. Pine Grove's at Marion. And Shenandoah Valley is at Williams Valley. 1 game Saturday in the white division, Palisades is at Wilson. We talked a lot today about Blue Mountain and Pottsville and the game, and that should be a really great game. There's some other good games on the schedule, though. I mean, Nativity's loss to Minersville steals a little bit of thunder from what could have been a 7-1 matchup between Nativity and Schuylkill Haven, but it's still a great game. Nativity is a little banged up. A couple of key pieces there are hurt. Schuylkill Haven's been a freight train since losing to Blue Mountain. They lead the whole cooperative in points scored. Nico Carastilla, Nico Castillo, Colton Reber, the 3-headed monster at running back. Their offensive line, their defense, the Hurricanes have been really hot.
Absolutely, and looking at some other games there, Minersville Tri-Valley just feels like a classic game, a classic Schuylkill County football game. We talked about it on, this will air tomorrow on Touchdown Tips. Another rivalry game, 2 programs that aren't fond of each other by any means, and it always turned out to be a decent game. I'm banking on a shootout, right? That's kind of
the last couple of years that they've played Minersville and Tri-Valley. The game has been really intense, and it's been in the 30s or 40s points-wise, and it's been back and forth, back and forth. I got my first chance to see the Bulldogs last week. Loved running into Jeff Sampson, Richie Dunkelberger, Struppy, Marty Shade, all those guys up there from Tri-Valley. And they had a very efficient win, is the way I referred to it in the story, but it was when you look at it on every level. I mean, Blake Schwartz didn't do anything spectacular, but he did what he needed to do. Found open receivers when he had to throw. Cole Gemberling, Parker Hatter, good 1-2 punch in the backfield. They were able to they didn't prevent any big plays. Monterey got a couple big runs out of there, but they were able to contain them in the second half and take over the game. Tri-Valley is going to need to make some big plays, and they're going to need to get some defensive stops against a Minersville team that, when they play like they did against Nativity, they can beat anybody. Dante Carr running the football. Dante Carr, I don't know what, 6'4", maybe 220, 230. When he's moving downhill and he's got a full head of steam, I'm not really sure anybody really wants to get in front of him and try to make a tackle. And so far, not too many people have. When he's been able to, and healthy, when he's been able to run the football, he's been a machine for Minersville, and that just opens up everything else, the run game, the pass game, when he's able to do that. So if Minersville plays like they did against Nativity, they're going to be a force the last couple of weeks. But this is a winnable game for Tri-Valley, too. I mean, they do the little things to get wins, and this would be a very good signature win for Tri-Valley.
Another game I just want to quickly highlight here. North Schuylkill playing Lehighton, hosting them at home, actually. One of those games, can't look past the Lehighton Indians, right? Can't look past it. Maybe that might have happened here and there to the Spartans this year. Who knows? But definitely another game they need to keep the foot on the pedal and not take any breaks against the Indians.
Wally Hall's bunch and his coaching staff deserve a lot of kudos for their effort at Blue Mountain. Not too many people, us included, gave them, thought that they'd come home a winner in that game. And now you look at North Schuylkill's resume, win over Notre Dame Green Pond, win over Mount Carmel, now win over Blue Mountain. Those are 3 teams that are going to make some noise in the playoffs, and they have 2 games left, Lehighton and Pottsville. We went from talking last week about North Schuylkill maybe not making the playoffs to being in a really good spot. Absolutely. To get a rematch with Notre Dame possibly in the semifinals. So, big shout out to North Schuylkill. They did everything right. Luke Miller had a great game, but they had a lot of other kids. Landon Smith, Michael Mogish, number 4, whose name eludes me off the top of my head, played great on defense for North Schuylkill. I think his name is Meyer. They
those boys up front.
The boys up front did a nice job. So, North Schuylkill basically saved their season with the win over Blue Mountain. So, hats off to them.
Yeah.
Hey, so we're going to wrap up this week's edition of the 4th and Short podcast. We don't really know where we're going to be next week.
Nope.
But we'll be live on location, and you can tune into all the coverage, all the action of not only just high school football, but high school volleyball, high school soccer, Bob Lipsky's coverage of high school cross country on T102sportsnow.com.
Yep, and stick around quickly for the fastest 3 minutes of high school football in Schuylkill County.
We'll start with the Thursday night special down at the Eagles Nest at Blue Mountain High School. It's gonna be Brady Strauss unloads, finds Gage Gears, and the flock of birds. The Eagles are on the board early. That's gonna be 6 Gears. Will take it all the way for the score. He's gritty. He can do it all. Watch him with the tough catch over the middle. He doesn't care about who's in front of him. He just wants the ball. Oh, but here comes Sparty. Quarterback Caden Mangle rolling left. He's gonna do this all evening long. He's gonna help the Spartans extend drives and make big plays all game and lead them downfield. This time it's Miller. He's speedy, but here he gets bottled up by the aggressive Blue Mountain defense. Mangle drops back the pass. Where's my glasses at? I can't see what number this is. He unloads, and that's a big catch, a big strike down the middle. The Spartans are on the move. Here comes Miller, evading tackles, picking up first downs on the ground. Now back to Mangle. What's he gonna do here? Calls for the snap, takes the ball, unloads. Who's he looking for? It's Miller again. Bobbles. Oh my goodness, Luke. You maniac! He did it again with another big catch. Our special team shout out of the week goes to the trusty right foot of the North Schuylkill Spartans, Gavin Menser. He's been nearly automatic all season long. On offense for the Eagles, it was tough sledding. Here we go, toss right. Ball's out! Ball's on the ground. Spartans look like they have it. They're signaling they have it. They have all the momentum at this point. Mangle drops back, rolls right. I told you folks, he's gritty, he's tough. Look at him drag a defender. Next, it's going to be Miller. He's going to muscle his way in the end zone and power the Spartans to a 38-14 upset victory over Blue Mountain. We're going to check in with Pottsville here quick with the senior captain, Cyril Curry. Watch him work, man. He's tough. He's gritty. Pottsville 35, Wilson area nothing. In the brawl in the backyard, the Minersville Battling Miners and the Nativity Green Wave. Is that Dante Carr or Michael Vick? Oh my goodness. 5 rushing touchdowns on the night. Watch him work here, folks. He can move with the best of what makes a man miss. He is gonna fly here. Keep your eye on him. He's getting wide left. He's gonna get a big block downfield and he's gonna go all the way. He was crucial for the Battling Miners in this victory. He also had 2 passing touchdowns in the air. Here's one of them to one of his favorite receivers, Hutsko, for the 49-28 victory. We check in up on the Monoy plane. This is Tri-Valley's Blake Schwartz delivering a dot down the middle for the big score early. We're going to focus here on running back Cole Gemberling. Watch him move. He stumbles, he bumbles, he rumbles. He's making men hurt in the hole here. Watch. Schwartz drops back the pass. Looking. He's not just a running back, folks. He can catch the ball too. Gemberling. Oh, man. That got to hurt. This time on the Monoy side of the ball. Quarterback Levi Terry. He's going to keep it himself. But watch out. Here comes Gemberling. Levi thinks he can go all the way. He might get there, but no, Gemberling's gonna push him out just in time. Tri-Valley Big 28-14. Pine Grove area and Schuylkill Haven High School. Schuylkill Haven, we love to tell you about the running backs, but here, folks, we're gonna highlight a receiver. Look at this, a pick on the goal line. That's Layden Hurts. He could go all the way. 81-6 final for Schuylkill Haven and a victory.